Right, good evening ladies and gentlemen, we are back here at Mexico for round 9 of WR Tier 2. We did have that week break, but now we are back underway here with the championship firing up a little bit now. And once again though, I am joined by my good friend Callum G. Callum, how are you?
I'm very good. Thanks for having me. Good to be back. Obviously, as you mentioned, the week break, so we're rejuvenised and ready to go. And obviously, back with a bit of Tier 2 action on a Tuesday night, so what's not to love?
Exactly, so this is where you want your Tuesday nights to be. In this stream is where the action is all to be. Really interesting race here at Mexico. It will be a 2-stop most likely, but the 1-stop is certainly possible for the guys starting outside that top 10, going for the hard to the soft tyres, or the hards to the mediums. But if you want the better pace in the end of the race, you'll definitely be opting for that soft, medium, soft strategy if you're inside the top 10. So keep that in mind. We could see a variation in terms of strategy. PSR Boots, the championship leader, extending his lead just about last week at Bahrain. Did enough with Cypher close behind, only 19 points behind his fellow teammate. It's actually a PSR 1, 2, 3. So it's been PSR a bit of PSR domination so far this season, Callum.
Yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it, from the outside in. However, it's probably not been as simple as that. Probably, especially for first and third, I'm going to point out Wextra. I mean, he's never really been up there, and I'm not going to expect to see him up there tonight, but he just scores points every week, and he's found himself in third. And then Boots as well. His win last week was the first time he's been on the podium since the third round in Austria. So, yeah, it's not been very simple for any driver this year. It's just kind of been who's been the most consistent, who's kind of pulled out the bag the most. And obviously at the moment, that is PSR Boots, who is sitting pretty nicely at the top of the standings. Obviously, I didn't mention Scyther there in P2. Probably a little bit similar to Rex, where he's just been really consistent, except he's just kind of been consistently up there. He also did miss the first round as well, so he didn't score any points there, obviously. So, yeah, I think Scyther, as much as he's still 19 points behind, I think he's still probably a strong favourite for this title.
Yeah, certainly so. It is all to play for. New names once again for some of these drivers. Former Shazoo driver Shazoo Lurch is now TTM Lurch, and the last time we commentated the Bahrain, it was Shazoo Rusty. It's now ETE Rusty. So we've got some new names, but they are the same drivers, so don't get that mixed up. Fern sets the first lap time, and that is a 1:15.388. Not too bad on the medium tyres there. The Mexican driver at his home Grand Prix, he'll be looking to have a sensational race here tonight. You'll be thinking he would be looking to get a race win here tonight, wouldn't you, Callum?
Yeah, definitely. He's already got one this season. They picked him up in Canada, so he knows what that feeling's like. He's got the experience of winning races. However, I think other than the win at Canada and a podium in the first race at Spa, it's been a pretty lacklustre season so far for PSR Fern. So as you mentioned, definitely we'll be looking to do well tonight as his teammate Scyther does go on provisional pole with a 14 flat, but on the soft compound tyre.
So, and that'll be an interesting factor for some of these drivers. Some of them are already going out on the medium tyres. Akos, that's a new name up into the top half of the field. Not really been seeing him up there so far this season, but now it's great to see new names starting to gain some pace, gain some confidence, and it's great to see Akos with a very, very quick lap time, nearly 3/10 clear of PSR Fern. So that's a rapid lap time there from the Alpine driver. Will be certainly looking to challenge the likes of Cypher and Boots. But at the moment, it's the two PSR guys, 1 and 2. And that is not a bad banker there from Cypher to go 3/10 clear of the current championship leader. That's something to be proud of so far.
Yeah, definitely Akos, if anyone's wondering where he's come from. He's actually got a full-time ride now in Alpine this season. He's only raced once, and that was at Austria, where he didn't finish. So yeah, he's not really had a lot of experience in this tier. So yeah, we're looking to try and kickstart his season tonight in 4th place so far. It's starting pretty brightly. Another one I'm going to mention, Emirates are down in P6 at the moment. Not been a great session for him, and he'll be looking to bounce back after, I think the only word to describe last, or 2 weeks ago, was pretty unlucky in Bahrain. The 2 spins after would have been a heroic win. So yeah, I think Emirates are maybe a little bit deflated after Bahrain. But yeah, so for his sake, and I think for everyone as a neutral point of view, he can bounce back tonight.
Yeah, certainly so. One of the most disappointing races of his life, I think he said in the WR Discord the other day. So if you're looking to bounce back and looking to get on that top step to really claw back his championship hopes, but there's one man who needs to overtake, and that is Wextro, who's currently down in a P14, yet to set a lap. So it'll be interesting to see how all the controller players play out around here. I feel like they'll definitely be at a weaker point. Shazoo Sam making new track limits, which is quite interesting. But yeah, the controller certainly is not one which usually tends to do very well around here. So we could see the likes of Wexrow, Lurch in particular, all struggle around here. So just keep that in mind if you see them a bit further down than usual when it comes to tackling this track.
Yeah, definitely. Just looking on board with Silas at the moment, he's coming to the end of his lap, coming through turn 16 and through the right hand of turn 17 and across the line. It is only P7 for the Aston Martin. Interesting enough, the only 9 drivers setting a lap time at the moment, and only 3 of the 9 on the soft compounded tyres. So yeah, we've still got a lot to see from the majority of this grid.
Certainly so, and as we're on board, the 2 Haas drivers battling out on their outlaps, which is always interesting to see between those guys. The 2 Haas drivers really are in an interesting season. Remember, Shazoo Sam had one of those interesting performances at Austria, if you can cast your mind back to there, where he picked up that famous win somehow, and that was probably one of the most dramatic races of the whole WR Tier 2 season so far, in terms of the late safety car, and how many people got penalties, with Racer getting on the final corner when he had that maiden win, stealing away from being a bit too, pushing the car a bit too far, shall we say, pushing it beyond the limits, and costing him an easy win in the end.
Yeah, you'll probably be looking back and being a little bit disappointed now. Obviously, I've been disappointed at the time, but it might just hurt a little bit more now, especially in Bahrain. It's 2 chances he probably could have had to win it, and yeah, coming into what is round 9, maybe I'm going to guess round 8. No, not round 9. I was right saying round 9. So he's still not got a win, and his highest finish this season being second, which is 2 times. So yeah, Racer, yeah, he'll be kind of desperate for that one, won't he? And as I mentioned earlier, it isn't looking great so far for him round here in Mexico.
Yeah, on board with Rusty, the man who just fell short of pole position last week at Bahrain, getting P2 to, it was Silas, I believe, in the end. Or did he get pole? I'm not too sure. It was either first or second. Correct me if I'm wrong there. But the Red Bull man, yet to set a lap here in qualifying, which is quite surprising considering how such a strong debut he had until the race, where it unfortunately just fell away from him.
Yeah, definitely. It was an interesting one from last week. I'm just trying to see if we've got any other drivers on that lap, but it doesn't look to be the case. Still only 13 drivers with a lap time in Shazoo Finn, not setting us a representative one, so yeah, with a mirror, I'm assuming just about 10 minutes left on the clock. We've still got a lot to play for.
Certainly so. One driver who has set a better lap time, it is PSR Fern, who is now up into P2. The Mexican driver right behind his Alfa Romeo colleague. Really interesting to see how this all plays out. We'll go on board with Cypher approaching turn 1 now. This is where a lot of time can be made. Cutting these 2 corners now is absolutely essential to get a good run, and he's done that, but he's lost the rear end, and that will be him, the American, abandoning that lap time quite quickly there. On board with the championship leader now of PSR Boots, going through the middle sector now. This is where the drivers have been tending to invalidate quite a lot through here, but it seems to me that Boots has got that car hooked up quite nicely as he chucks it through the middle sector now. Onto the power he goes, opens up DRS, quite nicely done there from the AlphaTauri, 2.5 temps up. That was really nicely done from Boots, clipping that orange curb on the inside and now taking a wide line so he can open up the final 2 corners now up into the penultimate corner. And this is quite nicely done from the AlphaTauri, the championship leader, up to the line now. Doesn't take too tight of a line, going to lose him a little bit of time there. But it is the first man into the 13s of 1:13.889.
Yeah, it was a real good lap there from Butch. You could just see it in that middle sector. Just how kind of on the rails he was of that car, but he managed to keep it in the margins. It's such tight room for error, but he kept it in within the white lines, and he's put himself on that provisional pole, which is crucial because I think you mentioned it. It's so easy to invalidate around here, and we're seeing that with only 13 times on the clock with 8 minutes to go. So it's really important to try and get a valid lap round here, and important for the top guys to get a fast lap round here. So yeah, impressive stuff from Boots.
Certainly so. We've got VSR fresh on a lap time. The debutant, I believe, for driving in the Ferrari, the VSR man, the manager of the Xbox side. Let's see what he can do. Through the middle sector he goes, up into 7th gear. Quite nicely done. Very smooth on his steering input, not taking any risks so far. I think he just wants to get a lap time on the board before the end of qualifying here. Through the final stadium section now. Quite nicely done. losing a bit of time, very scared to get on the power there, very agitated. Not wanting to lose in the rear end. But going up to the line now, it's going to be a high 1 minute 14, and it's only enough for P9 with Akos still on that medium lap time. Enough for the top 10 at the minute, and if all the drivers below him who are yet to set a lap time fail to do that, could be in a very, very good position here.
Yeah, it's quite bizarre one that for him on the mediums. However, it was a good lap, so I don't think he'd be complaining too much if he started in P10, but he's still got a lot of drivers behind him to set a lap time. And yeah, it's just interesting. Not too many lap times coming in at the moment, so yeah, just keep an eye on a few drivers who've just started their laps, I think.
Yeah, a few drivers making a bit of a mistake. Wexler definitely going to be put off Lurch there, which could see him get sent to the stewards for that one. The PSR owner, and through the final F, and that is Lurch going to invalidate through that middle sector where everybody is tending to do that, and that is where all the pad drivers are tending to struggle. South Legend going for back-to-back runs now. The new WR development driver looking to impress as it stands to get up into that main team spot. Smokey up into P4 though. That's a very nice lap time from him. Really starting to build some confidence as the season has progressed. That Bahrain race had a quite a nice race, defending and attacking, making some positions here and there.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just looking on with HSR Amini. At the moment, he's currently sitting in P8 up, and commentators Curtis invalidated coming through that middle sector, so there'll be no improvement for him. Smokey's always he comes in. Nope, he looks to be just diving at the pit lane, so that was a good save there from him. So yeah, I think PSR finished that to a lap, maybe a few others, but yeah, at the moment, not too much to talk about.
Yeah, it's all a stalemate at the minute. Got to keep us guessing the drivers as per usual what they're going to do. Rusty done enough for only P6, so interesting from the Red Bull man, the new ETE driver. And Finn goes up into P2. Not a bad lap time there from the Ferrari man, who's had a relatively quiet season for a man who has such high expectations for at the beginning. Really has been surprising. Wexro making new track limits as he somehow keeps the track keeps the lap valid, shall we say. But maybe it's just because of the speed he's been carrying, and he has backed off after he has realised he could probably get a qualifying ban for completing that lap time. But everybody really just either on in laps or in the pit lane at the moment.
Yeah, it's a bit of a stalemate, but it'll be interesting to see how these drivers kind of at the bottom of the field kind of manage this final lap. A lot of pressure on it to try and get a good valid lap in. You know, got four drivers still to set a lap time, and we still get another four again. Sorry, on the mediums. So yeah, a lot of drivers still with a lot to play for. And when you're a driver like Boots or Finn, you can maybe have that leeway a little bit of pushing a bit more, because you know if you invalidate it, you've kind of got a good lap time to fall back on. So yeah, there'll probably be a little bit of a difference in mindsets between the guys at the top and the guys near the bottom.
Certainly so. On board with Shazunok sticks the Frenchman, looking to get out of the bottom 15 off this field, pushing his McLaren through that middle sector quite nicely, cutting that very, very nicely, getting a slingshot exit, and he is a second up here. Need a little bit more time though if he wants to get anywhere near the top 10. All time to find in the stadium section now. Goes down to first gear to get that front end turned in. Really using those low gears now, up on the power he goes up to the line, and it is a 14.3, enough just to be behind ETE Rusty. Fingerboy does enough for P12. So interesting lap times from those guys. I don't think they'll have enough time here, Callum, the time they get back into the pits for another lap.
Yeah, I'll definitely be tight. Just looking on board with PSR Finn at the moment, currently sitting in P4, and he's been on a nice lap at the moment, but he's backed out with that one. So we'll change to his teammate Cypher in P3, and he's just spun as well. So look at that for our commentators. Cursor 12 from Males, not had the best of few seconds there. One dived into the pit lane, another one spun it. Unfortunate stuff for Cypher there, because that lap probably could have been enough for a provisional pole.
Yeah, the American has been on some nice form. He also had an unfortunate race alongside M Racer with, I believe it was the car in front of him. I'm not too sure, can't quite remember, but I do remember the incident where he wasn't able to get on the throttle and he was spun around due to that, with the car in front going slowly, or put him onto the curb, if you can remember the name. I'm not too sure, but he managed to recover well. So if there's one man who can do a nice recovery drive, it certainly will be Cypher. Down to less than half battery though, starting that lap. He'll certainly run out before he reaches the start-finish straight So it'd be interesting to see how Cypher plays this all out. Will he save some battery through the middle sector? We'll have to wait and see as he approaches turn 1 now. Does that quite nicely, clipping that at inside curve. And again, much better than his lap before on his older tyres, not spinning around. Down to 20% already before approaching sector 2. He is up by a 10th, so this has been a very good first sector from the American. Now up into 4th gear, back down to 3rd, holds it in 3rd, misses that apex a little bit, going to lose him in a little bit of time. Now through the fast middle sector, this is where a lot of time can be gained. Remember, PSR Boots was absolutely on the limits when he did his lap, and Cypher, maybe the tyres starting to struggle or give up on him. He gets away with the track limits there, which is really interesting, but he is not improving. He has lost all that time he gained, and the Mercedes of Lurch there definitely has put him off, but not. Hello?
Hello.
There we go, sorry, my mic, everything just disconnected there. Did you not hear a word I just said for the last bit there?
Yeah, a little bit of laggy eventually,
Yeah.
but it should be okay.
That's fine then. I think it did. Everything just disconnected, and South Legend goes into pole position. That is the surprise of qualifying so far. The man who's yet to set a lap the whole of qualifying, he left it late. That is an unbelievable lap time there. Just nothing.
Yeah, just again, Ryan, fix your headset again. It's a little bit staticky, but I don't think Legends will mind too much. That's a great lap. He puts that on provisional pole position. It looks like it could be pole position. Shizu Finn doesn't look like he'll be improving. No improvement for Silas. And Fenn as well. Looks like his session's done. Smoking P7. Racer, will he maybe get a lap? And he looks like he probably could. Just as we're coming to the end of the session. ETE Rusty, he's currently on a lap as well. Coming through the middle sector. What will the centre split come for him as he comes into the final sector? 10th and a half up. That would be a pretty good improvement for the Red Bull. Coming into the stadium section, he goes 4th gear there through the right-hander now into the hairpin. 1st gear, he goes getting that rotation in nicely. 3rd gear up through the corners through there, and a pretty awkward run that is that right-hander. But in for the penultimate corner of turn 16 and coming through, keeping it to the right-hand side for turn 17. A cross line is only good enough for P7 for the Red Bull. I'm just going to keep speaking because it doesn't seem like Ryan's going to be got his headset fixed anytime soon. Looks like he's marginally up on his lap time at the moment. SAV Legends came into pit and he's had enough. Cypher won't be improving either, but Shizu Finn looks like he could be the man chat. Oh, never mind, he's invalidated his lap. So a lot of invalidations, a lot of drivers backed out of lap times. And if I am SAV Legends, you could be pretty happy in thinking this pole position is all but his. Shizu Smokey, I think, is the only one near the top of this field looking to be on a good lap coming through the middle sector. He goes through this flying S section, another invalidation for the Mercedes, and that's unfortunate stuff for the Shizu driver. So yeah, I think the tail of this section has just been invalidations. Rev Caterpillar out of absolutely nowhere puts that Alpine up at the P4 as well. It's a great lap from him to get himself firmly into the top 5 positions. Racer was on a lap, but he's backed out of it as he's going to settle for the P11, and his teammate Fingerboy as well come to the end of his lap, currently in P16. And I think, just like I've been saying a lot of this session, looks like he's backed out of that one as well.
Yeah, certainly so. Sorry about the issues there. Not sure what happened. I think it's just a bit of lag there, so just reset the headphones a few times, and now it's all right. I don't know what went on there, but that is certainly a very, very interesting qualifying. A few shocks here and there. M-Racer maybe tactically going for that P11 in the end. We'll have to wait and see. But Sav Legend getting his first pole position of the season. And what a way to do it on your WR development team debut, or WR team debut, in fact. And that is quite a statement to be made. Looking already to be getting in that main roster seat already. But it's PSR Boots, the championship leader, getting in front of his championship rival of Cypher. So we're going to see a hell of a scrap between those two already here, Callum.
Yeah, definitely. A little bit anticlimactic in the end was this session. A lot of drivers failed to get a lap in at the end and validating and making mistakes, but one man delivered, and that is SAV Legends. So yeah, great stuff from him. I'm not even too sure where he was before the final run, so he really pulled out the bag there. And it's what couldn't be said for the rest of his rivals around him. However, just like we see in real life, pole position isn't always the best spot. I mean, you look at, I think it was Max Verstappen in real life, in the same spot Scyther was in, he was in P1 before turn 1. So could we see something like that again? I definitely think we could. So Legends and Boots of 2 guys in the front row might just have to be wary of the guys behind them.
Yeah, certainly so. And as we round up the top 10, that was quite nicely done. Focusing on the bottom half of the field, though, M-Racer in P11, Piccolo in P12, with Noctix, the fellow Frenchman, in P13, Venom in 14th, fresh on his debut in P15, Fingerboy down in 16th, with the pad guys of Wexro and Lurch down in P19 and 20, with Akos, though, failing to improve on that medium lap time in the end there, which is quite interesting after that incredible blanker lap time in the mediums. Do you think that could have been maybe what he was opting for in the end of that qualifying? Maybe he just wanted to start the mediums.
I think it could be a viable option, and we've talked about the alternative strategy. It's a good one around here. I'm not too sure how good the softs are, but kind of traditionally on F1 games, the alternative strategy, if it's mediums to softs or whatever it is around here, it is always works out pretty well. So I definitely think that could have been a strategic call from him there.
Yep, certainly so. And now it's time for the tough question for the top 3. You thought you got it right at Bahrain. But unfortunately, the lottery numbers weren't going to be going your way. So, Callum, the top 3, how do you see this going for some of these drivers here tonight?
Okay, so I'm going to go for a Boots back-to-back win. Go for Scyther in second. And we'll stick M-Racer in third.
Oh, interesting. So the championship contenders all on the podium. I'm going to play it a bit safe. I feel like Sarv Legend's going to pull out the bag after that qualifying. He's looking to build on that momentum. I feel Boots will certainly get second, and I feel like it could be M-Racer who'll certainly get on that podium. We'll have to wait and see how it all plays out in terms of strategy between these drivers, but I wouldn't count out the likes of Akos as well with that qualifying, although he's all the way down in P18. Don't count him out just yet, and we could still see the likes of Rusty, Fern, Smokey, Silas all play a big role in this race, as opening 3 laps are going to be so crucial with some of these drivers. We'll have to wait and see how this all plays out, because ERS is certainly not easy to save around here. So overtaking could be really easy for some, but really hard for others.
Yeah, definitely. Another thing about the strategy of safety cars, I've had so many late safety cars, and I think it's this every week, but I think you always have to take your strategy with a pinch of salt a little bit, because the safety cars can just be so random in this tier sometimes. I think maybe 5 or 6 out of the races we've had this year have had late safety cars, which just basically throws everything out the window and gives you like maybe a lap last 5, 6, 7 lap dash. So yeah, I think that's always something to just add into it, because I just think it's always pretty likely this year.
That is certainly sure for you there, Callum. But it is going to be interesting how Lurch is going to play this out. On the hard tyres, the only one outside the top 10 on those tyres. He'll be certainly going for the one-stop strategy. So keep that in mind. He could be a massive factor into this race, whether it's challenging for the win, or he could be a factor in deciding who gets the RS. That could be a big deciding factor coming to the end of this race. He could get in the way, cause some problems. Piccolo starting on the soft tyres as well, so he'll be looking to go up a bit aggressive. And there is, I believe, ESR Fresh, who has crashed into the wall through the middle sector, not looking very sharp, unfortunately, for the man who is called Fresh. We'll have to keep that in mind. How it all plays out. A little pun there. South Legend already onto the grid. He'll be hoping that everybody outside the top 10 can get a move on here, because he won't want his tyres getting too cold, and that is the risk you play sometimes, getting on pole position. Some of the drivers in the background tend to take a little bit longer than they should, causing your tyres to get a bit colder than you would like. But as we wait for the drivers to get into their grid positions, we'll be getting underway here at Mexico for round 9 in WR Tier 2. Let's wait for, you cannot wait for this. One light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 red lights, and it's lights out. And away we go here in Mexico. Shazzy Finn has got an incredible start off the line, and it is South Legend who is currently leading into turn 1 at this moment in time. Shazzy Finn now up into P2. Can he take the lead away from South Legend? And then 3 wide in the background here. Finn's going to go for it already. Oh my goodness me, the Ferrari going to get the cut back on the Aston Martin, but South Legend has kept his cool at the moment. Got a little bit wide on the exit, but it has been an incredible start there for the Irishman, who has definitely got, I would say, a host start, because his lights certainly went out a lot quicker than everybody else. Rev Caterpillar fighting it out with FRA Silas. Silas getting an incredible move around the outside. That was breathtaking there from the Aston Martin. Piccolo already up into P8 as it stands. Smokey down into P10. Venom already up into P11. And Racer down to P13 already. Not a good start there for the Williams.
Oh, what a start that was from Shazzy Finn. Whatever the reason was, whatever the cause of it was, he will not be complaining whatsoever. He absolutely shot off the start, and I think it probably could have been a whole start, but he will not be complaining. Up at P2 is a Ferrari already, and he will be absolutely laughing with a start like that.
Certainly so. South Legend showing some incredible pace at this moment in time. 7 tenths is the gap to Shazzy Finn. Finn's got to be careful of this gap, because if South Legend breaks the DRS here, he could be in some dangerous territory, because you do not want to lose it around here. Lurch already has a 3-second time penalty on lap 1. That is unbelievable scenes. Smokey getting past his academy teammate, and he's looking to get a move on Pearsall Fern. But Fern, the Mexican, keeping his cool at this moment in time. An interesting opening 2 laps here, and Silas going out wide there. But all is seeming to calm down a little bit now.
Yeah, just the time being, just wait till the rest of the activity, because I think that's when it all start kicking off again. I'm just looking for the back to and the part of our P18's close to the back and thinking about it. Going to send that one down then. Sig nicely done there from now and a half, and he promotes himself up into P18.
Yeah, certainly so. PSR Wextro having a good start from P19 up into P16. Lurch will be a bit frustrated with that start though, getting a penalty on his alternate strategy compared to everybody else on this field. Trying to make that one stop work, he'll be very, very tough for the Mercedes man, who hasn't really had that season he was looking for, because I'm sure he was looking to fight for this title. As it stands, South Legend is about to break the DRS here.
Wow.
This is some incredible pace from South Legend. The power of joining WOR is on full display here tonight. The Aston Martin is absolutely flying at this moment in time. 9 tenths is the gap. Finn is having to use every single jump of that overtake to get back in DRS, but South Legend is showing some absolutely sensational pace here tonight.
Yeah, yes, but I think that's all might backfire a little bit for him. 43% DRS, so it looks like Finn will probably get the DRS. The next detection point just between turn 9 and 10, so they've still got a long way to go until the next bit of DRS, so it should be too much of an issue for Finn, and I think, unfortunately for Legends, all his hard work, it's going to be undone pretty quickly.
Yeah, certainly so. We've got to keep that in mind. This middle sector will be the key deciding factor, and that's where South Legend's certainly been stronger than Finn. So we'll have to wait and see. Finn's going to have to nail this middle sector. Maybe have to take a little bit of a warning or two just to do that, but he's managed to hold on to that DRS crucially for his race and pierce our boots. Akos getting a 3-second time penalty already. The medium runners certainly seeming to struggle out there with potential grip difficulties compared to the soft runners, who certainly are flying at this moment in time.
Yeah, just going to mention Legend's pace has been really impressive. I'm just kind of checking the ERS of the guys all behind him. They're all very, very low. The highest of the top 5 is Silas. And a quite remarkable 70% as he starts to the straight. But you've got Cypher down at 23. He's struggled to keep to the back of Boots. Boots is only at 54% as well. So yeah, Legends has had some really remarkable pace in the first few laps of this race.
Yeah, certainly so. Like I mentioned in the qualifying, ERS is certainly difficult to save around here. I think a key factor of that is certainly the wings these drivers are using. And that is a yellow flag in the middle sector. It is ETE Rusty, who has gone spinning round here in turn 1, I believe. Maybe a little bit of contact with another driver. That is a real shame for the Red Bull man. He was driving really well, but unfortunately for him, he'll just be about within DRS. Shazoo Noctix and Venom having a little bit of a scrap now. The mediums certainly seeming to turn the heat up a little bit. Third making new track for himself as well, taking notes from his owner of the team, Wextro, from qualifying, and Fern conceding the position to Noctix, who has now gone off the track again. Fern has got wing damage there. The Alfa Romeo has got no front wing on that right-hand side, missing that front right end plate. That is big news, and this is a disaster for the alternate runners who have now crucially lost DRS.
Yeah, that's going to be a slow. I'm not sure these guys in the soft pit, but it will feel like a long time for them. There's a little bit of, I don't know, a bit of a school and ash going on in the background there, but they've also tied at the back of it. If you're just looking now, the battle for P4 looks this might be a bit safety Cypher, maybe a sitting duck now, and Zelas, it's a pretty simple move as far as moves going. I think it could just be P4, Cypher is still hanging in there, but yeah, time to get to turn 1 side for Zelas' corner, and he moves up into P4.
Oh my god, yep, he nearly just spun the car around. Good save there from the Aston Martin, doing a little bit of dirt rally, drifting through that corner, but nicely saved from the Aston Martin. It's been a good performance from the two Aston Martin drivers now, P1 and P4 respectively, and it has been a really good performance from the pair of them, and they'll be looking to build on this momentum for the rest of the season now, to try and take away that Constructors title. They'll need a bit of a few good results, a few 1-2s if they're going to want to cool it back in this championship, but you can never count anyone out in this season, as the way it has all planned out, because remember, PSR Boots was dominating at the start of the season with those 3 wins in a row at one point, and then it all fell apart after that break in the season. So keeping in mind, it could all still fall apart for Boots, as Cypher's only 19 points behind, but seeming to me that Boots has certainly got the upper hand on his championship rival.
Yeah, definitely. He's been very consistent. Boots, he's always been up there, and I'm going to say that he's not finished 3 races in a row, but he was up there when he didn't finish. It was just silly mistakes that he had in certain races. Jeffy seems that it looks like he maybe started to cut them out a little bit, and I think this could be his championship to lose. He's like the front, been getting pretty close to the back of Legends, but it doesn't look like he wants to make any sort of move anytime soon, so it is all pretty much stalemate at the front.
Yeah, ET Rusty has retired from the race. That's 2 DNFs in a row on his debut season here in WR Tier 2.
Oh.
Bit of frustration there, and what have you caught there, Callum?
Shizuka smoky with a little spin there coming through turn 4, he's currently in P8, sitting in P8, and then turning over the curb, and the curb is going to properly unsettle the car and just sent his car into a spin, so it's really unfortunate stuff there for Smokey's done a pretty good race here. I think it was in P8 doing nothing wrong, and yeah, just the curb has just took another victim.
Yeah, M Racer is now the lead medium runner out of nowhere. Not sure where that's happened because he was stuck behind Venom and Optics, and he's certainly turned up the heat now, the Williams driver. Maybe the mediums are starting to get into that perfect temperature for him, and the pace is certainly seeming to turn up now as he's pulling away from Optics through that middle sector up into 6/10. The softs are now starting to fade away, so expect some pit stops around lap 8 area, I would say here, Callum.
Yeah, I think it looks like a good prediction because the soft tires are looking to start to get a little bit wary on the Boots at the moment. Shizuka looks to be a sitting duck coming in straight. They both get DRS, and Boots might not have the legs on them coming into turn 1. It's a long run at turn 1, but SAV Legends might just get dragged into this as well. It's a coming harder down into turn 1. Could it be 2 moves in 1 for Boots? He's going to try it. Could he make this one work? He looks like he's going to get a move on the fin, but maybe not got the legs to get a move on the Aston Martin. However, there is 2 DRS zones, and this could be another move for Boots. This is a penalty for SAV Legends, maybe just feeling the pressure a little bit and forced it. Probably an unneeded mistake there, but it is still going to be SAV Legends leading this race. However, that 3-second time penalty will be a crucial part coming into this race.
Yeah, certainly so. I feel like Boots and Finn now, as well as Silas and Cypher, they'll keep note of that now for the rest of this race. They'll be definitely not taking as many risks, knowing that the current race leader has got that 3-second time penalty, and I feel like Boots might play this a bit more tactically now, knowing that he doesn't have to overtake to win this race. He might just sit behind, save his DRS, and just stick behind for the rest of the, this race, and not having to worry about being overtaken or having to risk an overtake where he could potentially lose this race, because South Legend most likely will not get that penalty removed. I'll be very surprised, as he did go off a few times, and most likely he got that through that middle sector for one of those warnings as well. So PSR Boots in a very, very good position here.
Yeah, definitely. It's just looking on board with him again. He's super close to the back of Legends, but will he go for the move this time? And it just sits behind him once again. Shizuka gets close, but it's interesting to see why Boots is doing that. He just wants to save the ERS, save the tyres, because you look at SAV Legends, 17% ERS as he goes off wider coming through turn 2, and so does Boots. Interesting enough, Finn is all over the back of him now, coming into turn 4. They will go. Will he look to make the move? He's on the inside. Will he go for it? He sticks and holds in there. Boots will be forced to give him the room. It is proper close racing between the two. Finn with a bit of a mistake though, and Boots looks to just about hang on to that P2.
Yeah, certainly so. It was very close racing between the two. Good respect. I'm sure if that was on a different platform, we could have seen a driver spun round there. So it's great close racing between the two of them. Good respect shown from the pair of them, and that is what you like to see. Hard but fair racing between the two of them there. And Boots is certainly in a really good position. I think he's running a lot lower wings compared to M Racer, which is why he's South Legend, sorry, which is why he's been enabled to save that ERS a lot better compared to the Aston Martin, which has been a key factor in this race. And up into 80% now, I think Boots has now decided it's time to stretch the legs a little bit here.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think it's going to be much SAV Legend can do about it, and he's not going to defend it. It would make sense for him to defend it. So there you have it, your new race leader is PSR Boots, and as you mentioned, it's time for him to stretch his legs now and show what pace he's really got in that tank.
Certainly so. The Aston Martin, I think, has got to save some of that battery up now. I think Boots will certainly try to extend the gap, and he is using all that battery, which could come back to haunt him if he's not able to pull away. And South Legend has got to be careful here not to lose that DRS, because the championship leader has got some incredible pace around this Mexico track, and through this middle sector it will be very, very crucial for the pair of them. But both of them seem to hook it up quite nicely, so I'm going to having to push the track limits a little bit too much maybe through here. That was definitely a warning for Boots, so he's certainly chucking this AlphaTauri through that middle sector. Akos getting another penalty. The two drivers who have all got who've got two is Lurch and Akos, so keep that in mind. Their races are probably already over, and we're not even over halfway through this race yet, and so we could see some more penalties being picked up. And I say that, and it is Fingerboy who joins the club off the 3-second time penalty, and Boots has not been able to pull the DRS here, and this is going to come back to haunt him later on in this race here.
Yeah, you so much race. I'll have to just try and break it, but it's all that gap, all the hard work that he spent so much time trying to make, it's just going to get undone pretty quickly. So yeah, unfortunate stuff for him. Just looking at Silas at the moment on the back of Zhu Finn. Is he going to make a move for P3? Doesn't look like it, but Finn does break pretty deep into turn 1. Maybe he has a sniffer of Silas, but doesn't look like it, so Finn will hang on to that P3. But yeah, so we're starting to unravel a little bit down the top 4, because I think we all just start to think maybe they're quicker than the guys around them.
Yeah, South Legend breaking extremely late there. The HSR driver getting a penalty as well. A lot of drivers starting to pick them up now as the tyres are starting to fade away. It'll be interesting to see how they're all able to manage and hold on. And that is Anime spun round, I believe. The Red Bull man now down into P14. Shazoo Sam making a move, and oh my goodness me, Smokey getting the elbows out and making a very, very late move. And his Fingerboy going to go down the inside? Oh my goodness me, what a move that was! And Smokey has got a penalty for that, Troubles, and they're still side by side, the Red Bull and the Williams, and Anime was not letting up just yet, and the Williams is certainly trying to get a move on. It's going to go down the inside potentially. That would be a very brave move, and Akos now getting 9 seconds worth of penalties on this alternate strategy. His race is going from bad to worse here.
Yep, Salas comes out of the pit lane, so he's the first kind of guy out of big guys. The first kind of guy out of the big guys, the first guy out of the big dogs at the top to come into the pit lane. So good stuff there from him. SAV Legends in the back of Boots coming out turn 1. I thought he was maybe going to go for a move there, but back onto Salas, coming out the pit lane, medium tyres for him. And the undercut is definitely being initialised now. And I'll be interested to see how much UC can make of those fresh medium tyres, because if he can make a good outlap here, I think we could definitely see Salas take the lead of this race.
Yeah, certainly so. Boots is managing his ERS quite nicely here, actually gaining quite a bit, and I think down to that you can thank the wings, which he is certainly running, certainly a lower downforce, which is able to gain some back, whereas I feel South Legend is certainly running higher wings, but possibly around 10 front wing, potentially maybe 9 at most, whereas Boots could be running a little bit lower than that, which is why he's so quick on the straights compared to those guys behind him. Finn closely behind though as well, down to around 30% as well, managing his ERS, similarly to South Legend at this moment in time. So it's quite interesting to see how the PSR drivers are tackling this, with Boots and Cypher in 1st and 4th respectively. And it'll be interesting to see here, Callum, where Silas comes out in all of this.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. He's got the fresh gear, but he's not got the DRS as well, which probably does lose you a little bit of time on the straight. So I think it's maybe the lesser 2 evils for him, so he really needs to make the most of the lap times and yeah, for his sake, let's hope he can try and get in amongst it as she's in Noctis in the back end. I didn't see it close to Delta, but they two still pretty close as yeah, they're trying to make most of those medium tyres on the alternate strategy coming at the second DRS. We'll always see a move here between the two. Usually a little bit of DRS, but looks like Noctis is pretty happy in that P7.
Yeah, certainly so. I think Embrace is managing his race at this moment in time, and I feel Noctix is also happy with his current pace. So keep an eye on this medium battle. Lurch getting past Enemy at this moment in time. Sofran is certainly starting to lose a lot of pace at this moment in time. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see the likes of Boots and Sarv Legend dive into the pit lane and get a set of those medium tyres on before coming into the pits. And that's Shazzu Sam joining the club of three second time penalties as the list starts to rack up in terms of penalties for some of these drivers. Through the final corner goes Boots. Will he opt to go into the pit lane? No, he will not, but there is one who does, and it is Shazzu Finn, the Ferrari man, going in at lap 12 there. So interesting decision. We'll have to keep an eye on the gap between Silas and Finn here, because if the undercut is strong, which I believe it is, Silas could get a really, really big jump on the Irishman here.
Yeah, so just for reference, Boots just set a 19.6 on that last lap, and Silas comes across line to get a 17.6. So 2 seconds Silas has just gained them Boots and Legends there. And I'm going to throw something out, just shut it down if it's wrong, but could these guys be going for a one-stop at soft hards? Because surely they're pitting now to cover off that undercut if they're going for the soft medium. So yeah, that's just a thought. It could be completely wrong, mind you.
No, I wouldn't throw it away just yet. I feel like they could be going for that strategy. It's an interesting one. WR Matthew did try that in TPS, another league, and it didn't really go his way as there was a safety car at that moment in time. But Noctix as well is certainly closing in on the soft runners. So the mediums are definitely the better tyres at this moment in time, as Akos now racks up another penalty here. And it could be getting close to that disqualification range before the end of this race with 12 seconds, and we're still not even halfway through this race, which is quite surprising. And there we go, every driver going into the pit lane now, nobody getting a speeding penalty there. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what tyres these guys will opt for. It is the medium tyres for Sarv Legend. What about Pierce Arbus, the championship leader? He is onto the hard tyres, I believe. Or was it the mediums? No, it is the mediums. I was mistaken from the AlphaTauri pit crew gear there. And on board with Silas now, he is well and truly checked out from these guys, and Finn has got the undercut on Boots here. This is quite monumental, and now Rev Caterpillar has got in front of Cypher after all of this. This is quite unbelievable. This train is certainly going to form, but keep in mind here, Callum, I feel like the better tyres are certainly going to play a bigger factor here than going for an undercut.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, two laps of their still actually tyres, 3 laps of their Rev Caterpillar tyres. As Red Caterpillar's getting, they were taken there by Cypher going round the outside. They just caught me off guard. I was on board with them. I just said that with Cypher going round, Alfa Romeo's going round the outside. So Cypher, he cuts his losses a bit there and makes himself up at the P6. But back at my original point, yeah, these guys have just pitted. Obviously, must have thought when Silas pitted was far too early, because they didn't really react. They didn't bite and they didn't try and cover off undercut. They were happy with their strategy and they went to stick with their pre-pit in lap 13. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out coming into this then, how much Silas's and Rev Caterpillar's tyres really start to fall off.
Yeah, certainly so, and that is another penalty for Anime as well on the fresh soft tyres. At the moment, Akos, the man who's got the most penalties, up into P4, and I think the McLaren is trying to defend. Nothing he can do though. Noctix Racer glides past the McLaren, and that is the Williams now up into the net race lead. And oh, is that a safety car potentially here? There is a driver spun round, and that is Akos. I think he has spun at turn 1. Yes, he has, so no safety car needed. And Silas is going to be very, very frustrated, and Akos nicely and quickly getting out of the way there. That was a really good decision there from Akos, as that really could have affected Silas's race here, as Finn is not too far away from that DRS range.
Yeah, he's definitely starting to get a little bit closer now for him, which will be good. As I'm trying to see how these medium guys are getting on, but Racer, he's doing pretty strong out there in P1 at the moment. Him and Noctix have been together, and Venom, it's just about hang on and in the background as well. So I'm not too sure if these guys will pit, but when they do, it'll be interesting to see how they get on. Yep,
Lurch getting a penalty as well. I think that is 6 seconds there for TTM Lurch, who... no, it's 9. That's a real shame for Lurch on the hard tyres. Definitely go for that one-stop strategy. He's having a really good race. Just a shame about the penalties. And Akos again, it's got another penalty, which is quite inspiring to say the least. Now up into the 15-second range, and yet we're not even at the halfway range for this race. I feel like some drivers do need to focus on their race pace after seeing some of the penalties that they've all wrapped up. But Finn is closing in on Silas, and now Boots makes an easy move, and this is probably tactical between the two. It's time for them to work together to close up to Silas, and they're about to do that now. 1.1 is the gap between Silas and Boots. Do you really think the undercut's been worth it here in the end here, Callum?
There's a lot it will be. I think Boots' pace as well, she's been so good in the DRS again. There you have it, pretty comfortably back in that DRS. However, they're all got pretty low ERS. I mean, well, especially Boots and Silas, 22%, around about 20% for both of them. So yeah, it's pretty poor ERS management, you could say. Or it's just the fact that they're pushing that hard all the time. So yeah, very interested to see how that kind of plays out with the DRS management. Will one of them try and go for it again? Will we see Boots try and break the DRS again, try and get by Silas and then go for it again? Or is he maybe going to just try and sit behind them and save the DRS again a little bit?
Yeah, certainly so. Venom now joining the 3-second club as well. So it's all racking up, and Anime getting a 3-second time penalty as well. I think I'm going to be repeating that a lot here tonight, as we've still not even reached lap 18. At the moment, Sarv Legend though got the best. No, my mistake. It's Cypher who's got the best ERS inside this battle for the net race lead, and Silas is weaving left and right, probably to indicate to Boots he'll either let him go or he's just saying to work together here. And oh my God, he has left off quite aggressively there on the racing line. And that could have seen him massively under threat from Shazoo Finn, who could still overtake him here, which is really interesting. That's a questionable decision there from the FRA man, but I think he's just got good enough exit there to hold on, now below the 10% of the battery. So that's quite an interesting tactic there from Silas, don't you think there, Callum?
Yeah, definitely. It was interesting to see how he did that one. Looking at the battle of P14 at the moment, as Venom looks pretty comfortable move on those fresh soft combat tires down the inside of the Rebel. Over the Rebel, let's hang it in there. I think if it measures how much you can fight that one, the two of them still going side by side. This is great, Bam. It's only for P14. The two of them still hanging around side by side through turn 6 and go, however that has. Looks to maybe just get that a little bit better traction with the 3-lap younger tyres. And you have it in the end, Venom goes up into P14.
Yeah, it's a very nice move. Did a bit of Charles Leclerc on Max Verstappen there, getting quite aggressively in front of him, which was a nice move from the Haas man to get in front of the Red Bull. Unfortunately, Fern hasn't been able to replicate a performance like Perez here at Mexico, down in P18. I think he'll be hoping for a safety car to revive his race here tonight. But it's a real shame because the Alfa Romeo was certainly looking for a good performance here tonight. Boots is really starting to close down on these medium runners now, who are at around the 1.8 second gap to Fingerboy. So there is a big gap though between Lurch and Wextro here. So the medium runners have still got a good chance in this race. Remember, they'll be a lot quicker when it comes to the end of this race here, Callum.
Yeah, definitely. And Fern's been more like Esteban Gutierrez tonight than Sergio Perez. So sorry, I had to get that joke in there. I was waiting for that one, bit of a stretch, but we have it. So, but yeah, yeah. Interested to see when Boots comes at the back of these guys. I think that's good one better anyone on the medium tyres. Let's see how much he's going to try and have to battle them all. These guys, and nobody teams fight them. I wouldn't make sense as Fingerboy. I think that's maybe the 9-second club he's now promoted himself to. And there's penalties coming left, right, and centre. But yeah, talking about Fingerboy, will he put up much for I think PSR Boots? It wouldn't make sense for him to do that. However, you know, he's got his teammate Rev Caterpillar at the back of this group. It would help him out. So you never know how these things play out. Never mind, Rev Caterpillar is his teammate, so just ignore what I said there.
Yeah, unfortunately, you got ahead of yourself. Fingerboy's only in the 6-second club at this moment in time, so it's not quite at the 9-second club yet. The new penalty leader is VSR Fresh. He'll be looking home to take that title as it stands with 12 seconds, so we'll have to keep that in mind. Anime gets the fast lap of the race, and talking about Fresh, he now goes up into P4. Nice move on TTM Lurch, with now the front runners who have all made their pit stop already, off Boot, and Silas and Finn are now in this train. Not all the way to the front runners yet, who've still got a pit. Wextro going down to neutral gear for that extra rotation. But Boot will be looking to get past, and oh my goodness me, Fingerboy leaving the door wide open there, and Silas is going to try and follow it through! Oh my goodness me, he had to make that move there, Silas, because if he gets held behind, Fingerboy that will be the train starting to fall apart, and Boots will certainly pull away. So it is crucial laps now for the likes of Finn, Sarv Legend and Cypher now, and Sarv Legend is going to try and make a move on Finn. Let's see how this all plays out between the Ferrari and Aston Martin. Is the Aston Martin going to go down the inside? Finn breaks really late there, and that's surely going to seize a chance for Sarv Legend to go around the outside, get a cup up potentially on the Irishman, getting a good move, but unfortunately not being able to pull it off. But it's crucial laps now for Sarv Legend and Finn, because now Fingerboy has lost that crucial DRS range to Silas here. So it is crucial now for Finn to get past and close back up to Silas's DRS. And there is a battle at the front here. Pierce on Boots and go darting down the inside of TTM Lurch, who's not giving this up here, and he has the full right to do it because he still has to pit later on, and he will be going for that one-stop strategy as VSR Fresh doesn't put up anywhere near as much of a fight as Lurch did. But now Silas going around the outside of Fresh, and Boots is still fighting it out here with Lurch. Oh my goodness me, it's Silas going down the inside, free wide into this corner. Are you crazy? And he has pulled it off. Silas, the Aston Martin man, has made a sensational move. 2 into 1. That was breathtaking.
Oh, Lurch as well, who spun for good measure, was so unlucky. It was crazy battling and going all over the place. In the back as well, Cypher and SCV Legends fighting out. They're still going. SCV Legends going round the outside to Cypher, coming into turn 12. You wouldn't normally see something like that happen. Cypher broke too late, and he's made contact with the Ferrari. He's round. Shazoo Finn's just about kept it going, but Cypher just bit off a bit more than they could chew there and found himself facing the wrong way and reset to track as well for good measure. And yeah, that's just a little bit unlucky there for the Alfa Romeo driver.
What a lap. Lap 20 at Mexico in the history books of this tier. That was breathtaking from those drivers. That was unbelievable from FRA Silas to make that move stick. I was What is Silas doing? Oh my god! That could have been disastrous. Braking like that on the racing line, that is extremely dangerous. But it's TTM Lurch who was added to his list of spinning at tracks. I cannot believe it. He's done it in Mexico now. I'm not going to do the iconic line, but everybody who knows it, he's added to the list, which is really, really unfortunate for the Mercedes man who just can't stop spinning for whatever the reason. He's been the Sebastian Vettel of old at this season, and I just hope for the guy he can turn it around very, very soon. But at the moment it is PSR Boots who is following behind in P5 of Silas. But the medium runners will be, who have yet to pit here, Callum, will be quite happy with how that lap 20 played out.
Yeah, definitely. It took a few of them as well for good measure. Rev Capella moved out and then instead of VSR Fresh coming into the stadium section. Good little move from him there. Just looking on Boots at the back of Silas now. Silas, I mean, I think Silas is amazing dealing with that pressure. He's behind Boots coming to the back of this traffic, and he just took the opportunity so well, and even took the opportunity to get by Boots, which was even more important. And yeah, I think he handled it all really well, and most importantly, he's still on the track, unlike his competitors. However, that could always be undone. As Boots comes flying by a late defence there from Silas. Oh, a bit of a heart in your mouth moment there as he moves pretty late. But Boots, nonetheless, gets to save it up into P4, which is the net race leads.
Have a flipping heart attack the way this race is playing out here at the moment in time. Maybe taking a few tips from his Dutch hero Max Verstappen as Finn makes a late braking move down the inside. Will Silas hold on? He forces Finn off the track there, taking some tips there from Max Verstappen. Quite nicely done though from Silas. Nothing too naughty there from the Dutchman. But have they lost DRS? Not yet. But Boots is certainly going to be trying to push this car, his AlphaTauri, through this middle sector to certainly pull that gap away. But unfortunately for Boots, he hasn't just done enough there. Silas just about holding on by a thread.
Yeah, it's almost like that when Boots is just trying to capitalise and nearly did. He was pretty close but coming through the stadium section once again. It looks like Silas will just do just enough once again to stick within that DRS zone. So yeah, good stuff there from him. As the top three will come into the pit lane, so there you have it. PSR Boots is now your official race leader. Yeah,
certainly so. At this point in time, there was about a safety car or two, and that is where WR Alfie's race certainly went to the mud after that safety car, and that is where the carnage all unfolded. I'm surprised here, Callum, that we haven't seen a safety car yet, in terms of how many penalties these drivers have got, and the action we have gotten from some of these guys in terms of the late braking moves and the late lunges, you know?
Yeah, no, it's been pretty action-packed. It wasn't too hopeful for tonight, but these drivers have delivered once again. It's a pretty crazy race, and with 3 retirements, this isn't too bad going considering we've got a grid of 20 pretty mad drivers at points. So yeah, we're doing not too bad so far. However, I think we might just jinx it. I've got a feeling we might get a lead safety car in this race.
Hopefully so, and that is when the action will unfold. Cypher joining the 3-second club. The only drivers who are yet to get a penalty is Racer, Piccolo, Finn, Silas and Boots, and that is quite an elite list at this moment in time. To not get a penalty is quite unbelievable, and Racer could still get a really, really good result here. And certainly get some good points. And at the moment in time, they are closing in on the medium runners very, very fast. They have closed in a second to the leaders of PSR, Boots and Silas. So don't count these guys out yet. They will be pitting again in a few laps time here for some fresh softs again. So keep that in mind of when they will be pitting. But at this moment in time, it is a bit of a stalemate between some of the drivers. I feel like they'll be wanting to work together rather than battling.
Yeah, definitely. It's all starting to kick off there. The Aston Martin, as you've seen in Suzuki on the back of Salas coming for the first few corners, but no moves just made. Yeah, and I'm going to. Salas breaks very late there. I was going to ask a question. Do these guys on the mediums, are these pitting again? The kind of front 5, are they pitting again?
Yeah, they will certainly be pitting again, I believe, unless
they
do some insane tyre management, I believe. I feel like it's a risk. They can do it probably, most likely. I don't think Silas will be able to. I don't think Finn will be able to. But maybe Sarv Legend and Boots at a push. It will be interesting, but predict them to pit around lap 26 here, Callum.
Yeah, and I think they should be able to go to the end, because I'm just looking at the guys like Wexford. They did 23 laps on the mediums before pit for the soft, so that's kind of in the same range of Boots, Legends and Finn. So I think it's going to be, I think Rev and Salas will probably try to go to the end. It might be a bit more of a push for them. However, I'm pretty sure they could be going to the end. They might be wrong, could be completely wrong, but it would make sense for these guys to go to the end as Rev Caterpillar does come out of the pit lane, so maybe not.
Maybe you're eating your words up already. We'll have to wait and see. That's an early pit stop though from Rev Caterpillar, as the softs do die off very, very quickly. So predict them to maybe go a lap later, possibly, and that is the Red Bull of Anime getting the yellow flags for that final sector. Maybe a little bit of a spin for the Red Bull man, who has not really had too much luck here tonight. But yeah, lap 26, lap 27, I predict some of these guys to pit. They'll certainly want to make these mediums last as long as they can if they do want to opt for the mediums, because the soft running pace is very, very quick at the end. It's around a second to maybe 2 seconds per lap quicker than these old mediums, so just keep that in mind. These guys like Racer, Noctix, Wexro, I believe, are still most likely got to pit as well. They can certainly make it to the end, but their pace will be considerably worse, and they're most likely better off pitting again rather than trying to make it to the end.
Yeah, so the strategy's all about up there. Normally it's quite straightforward, lead racing for once. We didn't really know Silas answered a few questions for us there. He does come into the pit lane, and it'll be the fresh soft combat tyre I would assume for him to put on. And yeah, it looks like it will be, and yeah, he'll be flat out till the end of the race. So yeah, it's got a bit of work to do this Silas. So if he wants to try and make up some grids, there's another yellow flag in the middle sector.
Yeah, a bit of a fight now between Piccolo and Piccolo, and Venom, and Piccolo making an easy move on Venom, but Venom going to try and get a little switchback and a half, potentially. The McLaren man going to hold on though quite nicely, and that is a retirement for Anime. And is that going to be a safety car? And it is a safety car. Oh, and Callum G's over the moon by that news, and it is going to certainly spice up this race, but the alternate runners will certainly be rather frustrated by that. The likes of Racer. But the question is, do they stick out now? This could actually be really interesting. Do they stick out, or do they dive into the pit lane here? This is going to be very, very interesting. Surely they'll stick out, but at the end of the race, the likes of Boots, Finn, Sarv, Piccolo will be on the better tyres, which will certainly play a huge factor come to the end of this race.
Yeah, I think I chewed a little bit too much in that safety car to me, but safety car caused chaos, so it's going to be fantastic here away what happens. But yeah, it'll be no brainer for the guys at the top. They'll all come into the pit into the soft combat tyre, and you've got to feel for Rev Caterpillar and Silas. Just had the last lap, and I think they might just Yeah, I think they're going to probably not going to fit as much as they like. I think Boots and all that, Boots, Finn, Legends, and Piccolo walk make a pretty good place. And Piccolo's benefiting from some pretty well. I feel like I'm not talked about him this race at all, and he's going to come out a healthy spot in the end. M Racer does stay out, and he will take the race. Alicia Noctix as well, and behind him in P2. Boots looks like he'll come out in P3, so he's in a great position on those fresh come tyres in P3. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Basically, everyone on the track as soon as Fern comes with it, and it will be everyone on soft spot. Just the kind of tyre life does vary throughout the grid.
Yeah, certainly so. I think Alfie Butcher, certainly watching this stream, will certainly be getting flashbacks to this safety cars when his race all fell apart here tonight. And I feel like that is where the likes of Boots, Finn, Zarb Legends will certainly be a bit frustrated at that. And Noctix could play such a crucial role for M Racer, who could get a really surprising win here out of all of this in the end. After starting outside P11, he's now into the race lead, and he's crucially not even got a single penalty here, which is very surprising considering half the grid have all got one. And it seems to me it's going to be the key deciding factor, and I wonder if any of the drivers around him who haven't got a penalty yet are certainly one or two potential warnings away from a penalty.
Yeah, definitely. I think unfortunately maybe for us, I think penalties will be a big factor. So luckily, a lot of the guys at the front don't really have any, but from 9th down, everyone has a penalty, which is quite amazing. A lot of guys with 6, and even VSL Fresh with 15, which is quite remarkable. So yeah, he's not a good day at the office at all in terms of penalties. He's got no chance of finishing the points. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see, especially at the front, how these guys play out. You mentioned that will they be near a warning? Will they just be a little bit cautious now? Because they know that, especially with the field so points up, a 3-second time penalty could demote you 4 or 5 positions easily. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But if you're one of these guys without any warnings, you're laughing. You've got a pretty free last 6 laps to just go for it and not have too much risk out of doing that.
Yeah, exactly right. You'll be all pedal to the metal for some of these drivers, and I feel like we'll be seeing some risks being taken from some of these drivers. I feel like Boots will certainly play it safe. He'll be extending his lead massively over his rival of Cypher, who's down in P15. So he'll be looking for a very strong end to this race here. I don't think Fresh will make it too hard for him, since he is rather friendly with him, I believe. I think they're good friends, so it'll be interesting to see, as I'll get you a quick invite after you have disconnected. There you go. Boots is in a good position though, on the best tyres, 4 lap younger than M Racer, so keep that in mind. He'll be certainly the better have the better pace come to the end of this race, and I feel like we could see M Racer, Noctix all fade away come to the end of these final laps here at Mexico. Leave your predictions down in the chat here, folks. It'll be interesting to see who do you think will win this race, because it can still go either way. And I feel like some drivers are going to get some penalties here at the end of this race. Have you rejoined the lobby by any chance, Callum, or are you still waiting on that? Okay, just keep me updated. If you need another invite, just let me know. Yeah, here you go. There you go. But yeah, safety car is still not in yet. Still waiting for that to come into the pit lane. I think we're just waiting on PSR Fern to catch up to the back of this pack, and the safety car will be in this lap. Fern, crucially, catching up just in time, so we'll be interested to see when M Racer will decide to let us go down this main straight. Will he go at the line? That will be the question, because I don't think he'll want to risk it, but he does. Oh, he's gone for it. He has gone for it, and he's, oh my goodness me, nearly bloody spun there while I was on board with him. Good catch there from the Williams man. He's now under pressure from Noctix, who's weaving his tyres to get some temperature into those front tyres, and he is going to have to go a bit defensive, and they're going to be free wide potentially as they head into turn 1. Noctix is going to go darting down the inside, and these two are going to want to work together more than battle, because they're going to have to try and make their tyres last to the end. Shazzy Sam gets a penalty. Thinkerboy gets a penalty, as the penalties are already racking up, and they're still all trying to get their tyres warmed up. Noctix is going really aggressive on this opening lap, and Shazzy Finn is trying to get a move down on PSR Boots. Will he get the cutback? No, Boots parks the car absolutely beautifully there, denying any chance for the Ferrari man to get that switch back and a half. Venom getting past Piccolo, and Smokey is looking to go for an interesting move around the outside. The Mercedes man, will he put it off? He does indeed. Piccolo showing him great respect, the academy driver, and Fingerboy is close behind him. Sarv Legend joining the 6-second club. That is a real shame. We'll change to the penalties, but it's been an interesting safety car restart here. Yeah, certainly so, and a few drivers who have DNF'd certainly be a big one from the likes of WR Matthew and WR their performance to those guys after that one. But Emre in the pace nicely at the Fern again joining that 3-second club, the Mexican, not really enjoying his race here at his home Grand Prix. Silas and Rev Capella, it wasn't Silas and Rev Capella, it was Rev Capella and Venom find out. Smokey again is trying to get a move into that fast left-hander. I'm not sure how he does that, but Smokey is always very optimistic in terms of when he's going for that move, and he's still applying the pressure to Venom, and Venom's going to make it difficult for him, and then he's going to get turned in on there because he wasn't alongside, and he had to back out of that one. Good defending there from the Haas driver. Yeah, certainly so. And on board with Boots. Oh, it's a big mistake there. And Venom again fighting out with Smokey, and Smokey nearly going spinning around there, but at the moment catching that car quite nicely. And the Mercedes man is going to apply that pressure using every little bit of that ERS available. Going to go darting down the inside here, and they're side by side again. And Venom parking that car in the right position, and he could lose a place here to his Shadow Academy teammate here, and that is Piccolo going side by side once again, but Piccolo is going to have to yield the position once again, and Venom joining, I believe that is now the 9-second penalty club, as he here in TPS, so he's done a better job than he did in that league race here at Mexico, so he's improved to say the least in terms of managing his penalties. But at the moment, M-Race is in a really good position here, because he's got a car in between him and Boots who's on similar tyre wear, so he knows he's sort of safe to any attack here from Boots. Oof. Yeah, Boots getting the elbows out in a half there, and Finn surely not going to even try and make that move around the outside. That was very silly from the Irishman, and now there's been a domino effect, and oh my god, that was mad from Finn, who's just forced Sarv Legend off the track, and I don't think Sarv will be too happy about that one. Silas as well getting caught up in that, because now he's under pressure from Rev Caterpillar, who's going to hold it around the outside, and Silas leaving no racing room. Oh my god, there's contact. That was inevitable. Rev Caterpillar has spun round the man who got on pole. Sarv Legend now all the way down to P13. What a difficult race this has been for the Aston Martin driver, who has such a great qualifying. Got too many penalties here tonight. Callum is now left the party. I believe we'll just quickly join back. I'll quickly need to invite him. There we go. And they're on board with Boots once again, and he is certainly pulling away from M-Racer now. Just trying to uninclude Jordan and get it back included. I think that was a bit of a glitch, potentially. But yeah, on board with M-Racer. Nothing really he can do. But he won't care. I told him up at the end, and be a fantastic race win here for M-Racer if he can crucially not get a penalty and hold on to the end here.
Yeah, it's a fantastic job. I'm just going to wait out, and people in the stream saying they can't hear my mic, so I'm just going to make sure they can hear it first. So I'll just leave it up to you for the time being, Ryan, until I get that sorted.
Yeah, no worries. I think it could have just been a glitch since you disconnected. Just let us know to the guys in the chat if it does change, if he's back or not. That'd be greatly appreciated. But Emirates are just doing enough to hang on to the DRS of PSR Boots, and Phil Noptics is doing him a massive favour at this moment in time. 7/10 is the gap between Boots and M-Racer. And M-Racer just crucially holding on. Finn is applying that pressure, using every little bit of that battery because he knows he can win this race here tonight. And you are now back, so that is great news for the rest of the stream. So, yeah, M-Racer is holding on fantastically. He's holding off the pressure of the Irishman, but he just needs to hold on a little bit longer. He's fallen short so many times of a race win here tonight. Can he make it another race win, though, here at Mexico?
He definitely could have. Oh, I'd love him breaking late there. His arm parts just dropped there for a second. So he broke a little bit late there, but as you mentioned, he needs to keep Finn behind him. That's a crucial part. We mentioned penalties will play a factor, and Stuart Emmons has done a superb job so far. But you recall back to Austria, remember, penalty on the last corner of the last lap, which cost him his first win in the tier. So hopefully for his sake, it should be his third time lucky tonight. However, he's still got 2 laps to keep that pretty feisty Ferrari behind him.
Yeah, he's managing his tyres just about enough. He's managing that ERS fantastically as well. Could this be redemption for M-Racer? The German is driving his ass off in these tyres right now because they are certainly falling away. Shazzy Sam again getting another penalty. He joins the 9-second club. Fingerboy has got the record of most penalties. So he'll be taking home that championship point of most penalties here tonight with Finn. He is now applying that pressure, now down to no ERS available, whereas M-Racer's just toying with him. He's got plenty of ERS compared to Finn, and he has broken. Oh no, oh my god, recover. Oh Jesus Christ, what has just gone on there? I do not know. Finn has applied so much pressure to M-Racer, and M-Racer has bottled it under the pressure here. The German hasn't been able to keep his nerves, and that is heartbreak. And there's a bit of biased commentary from me, but I was so gutted for him at Bahrain. He deserved this race win here tonight, but it seems to me, without a miracle, it's going to be heading to the Ferrari man.
Yeah, you'd be thinking you're watching German TV there when M-Racer made that mistake, but so unfortunately, it's not done yet. He's still got a lap to go. He needs to close that point at the back of, and as we've seen, Finn doesn't have much ERS either, so it's not all done yet for M-Racer. He really has to get everything out and just really try and go for it out of the Ferrari now, because he's only got 1 lap to do it. So yeah, let's hope for an M-Racer fan that he can do it.
Yeah, certainly so. He'll need a miracle though if he's going to want to re-overtake Shazoo Finn. A bit of a mistake. He's going to have to apply all that pressure which Finn applied to him. 1 lap to go now. We're on to the final lap. PSR Boots is going to apply as much pressure to Shazoo Noptics. Finn already used all of his ERS, but it's M-Racer who is so far behind. He has got no hope. So he's going to have to hope for a penalty for Shazoo Finn. Finn making a big mistake though through turn 1 there, going very, very deep. But unfortunately for him, he's got no other warnings at this moment in time. So M-Racer is looking to lose out here tonight. Is Finn going to go for a move from there? Are you joking? That was unbelievable. What an effort that was. And M-Racer trying to make that move. I think that could have been a tactical switch around from the Ferrari and the McLaren, since they are in the same team, to protect Shazoo Finn from any possible threat of M-Racer getting this race win. It's all down to Finn now to get no warnings through this middle sector, and he is about to do that as he goes relatively slow through that middle sector, and it is going to be a Shazoo Finn win, but it is going to be our championship leader who's going to cross the line in first position as he comes around the stadium section quite nicely. No risk taken though from Shazoo Finn. It's going to be PSR Boots who wins on track, but it's going to go to the Ferrari of Shazoo Finn, who has drove fantastically here tonight. He applied the pressure to M-Racer. He unfortunately cracked under the pressure, and it is a Shazoo Finn win here at Mexico.
Yeah, great stuff there from Finn. He drove very, very well the full race. He kept his nose clean. He didn't get into an instance, and he didn't get a penalty, crucially. And he did the business at the end of the race. Just put him under a little bit of pressure. I don't know if it was other factors that made M-Racer make that mistake, because it was a strange one. He just went so deep into the corner. But there you have it. M-Racer did lose the win once again, but Finn, he done a great job. And he deserves all the plaudits he gets in the Team Series Championship. It gets him right within that mix again for the top 5, because he's currently sitting at P7 in the standings. So 25 points tonight will definitely certainly do. That championship stands all the world of good for him.
Certainly so indeed. That was a fantastic race in the end there. Very, very dramatic. And that safety car certainly spiced it up for us in the end. Indeed. So after all that, it's been quite a fantastic race compared to the WR Tier 1. I feel like we always get the better race here on Tuesday nights compared to Tier 1. Seems to be way more drama and way more action. But yeah, that was quite a sensational race for Shazzu Finn to pull out the win. And I did tell you penalties were going to play a crucial deciding factor here tonight, and they have, because it is Shazzu Finn who got no penalties here tonight, who takes home an impressive race victory from P5. But got to give credit to M-Racer from P11 to P2. With Boot, the championship leader, going to be extending his lead quite nicely over Cypher, who didn't fail to score a point here tonight, which is very, very surprising for a driver of his calibre. With Shazzu Noctix in P4, Silas in P5, Piccolo in P6, with Rextro in a good P7 there from P19, and Fern in 8th, Smokey in 9th, and Venom rounds off the top 10. Any last words here, Callum, before we head off?
No, just well done to Finn, and then as well, I'm lucky at M-Racer. If you're an M-Racer fan, just like yourself, Brian, hopefully that win will come for him fairly soon.
Certainly so. All the M-Racer fans are kind of like the Sebastian Vettel fan when he had that miserable season with that Ferrari engine, you know, where the race wins just wouldn't go his way. And that, at the moment, is happening. Next week, he'll be able to sort that out. Australia, which is a very interesting circuit indeed. But we'll see. We'll have to wait and see how that all plays out. But until then, it's a goodbye from us.
Bye.